Why is John 15, verse 16 in this text? Most of you know this verse. You've heard this verse many ways. On many shirts, many bumper stickers, many bulletins, many fancy plates and pictures. You did not choose me. I chose you. It's the only place in the gospel where Jesus makes that distinct claim. I think one of the reasons why this text is here because it has to do with the word choose. Choose is in it. Jesus probably knew how we love that word choose and words related to it, like choice. That's something that's important to us. This word is very important to us. But in the context of our day today, with so much going on with graduations, with Mother's Day celebrations, some of us are remembering our mothers who have gone on to be with the Lord. Some of us are going to be mothers, and so maybe we're quite close. We know someone who's on the verge. Some of us are praying that we make it through if it comes to that kind of liberation. Whether we can make it through the essentials of motherhood. But through all this time of change and celebration, the word choose still comes to the forefront. After all, college graduates had to choose where they wanted to go to school. They had to choose where to apply. And of course, mothers are very much a part of that choice, as are fathers. But mothers find that they have to make choices on a daily basis as well. Choices for their family, choices for their relationships, for their children. But I wonder at this moment if to choose or to be chosen is really what we need here today. Which do you think is more important? Do you think it's more important to choose or to be chosen? To love or to be loved? My mother used to remind me that you can't pick your family. You know, that always seems to come up when you're fighting with your brothers and sisters. You can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. I think that's one of the powerful aspects of friendship. Which leads me to wonder if, okay, I love my brother, but I choose to love my friend. Do I choose to love my brother? Friendship reflects a mutual love. Love which complements one another within clear limits. Jesus' love, what he shares for us, is agape love. It's unconditional love. It's a love that knows no bounds. It's a love that has no limits. It's a love that cannot be removed or changed. It is forever. Whereas friendship is a much riskier kind of love. Because love of friendship has limits. Because it's love that is shared among limited people. When we choose friends, we put ourselves at great risk of being hurt. Perhaps even more than embracing unconditional love. Because unconditional love is certain. Jesus wants his friends to know that they're not just a part to be my friend. Jesus chose you just as you are. Just as you are, as his friend. There was an episode of The Wonder Years. I don't know if y'all watched The Wonder Years. I think this is one of my favorite stories. I may have even shared it before. But it's a basketball. It's a basketball story. There's a show that was back on in the 80s, and then the lead character's name was Kevin. And the story is told from Kevin's point of view as he reflects on his childhood. It was about choosing basketball teams for PE class. The teacher chose, I'm sure it's still like this, chose 2 captains who picked the rest of their team. As usual, the poor players were always chosen last, which did little to help their self-esteem. I was usually chosen in the middle, so I kind of fluctuated. Kevin was the main character in the show. He was one that, generally speaking, was chosen toward the end of the picking. But Kevin got picked to be captain that day. This one particular day, he got chosen to be captain and to pick teams. So the question was, will Kevin choose his best friend, who happened to be there, who was always chosen last? Did he choose him first? Or not? Well, Kevin chooses his best friend first. And he was feeling pretty good about himself. You know, he was making a statement. It bolstered his ego. So the next round came, and guess what? He chose another poor playing friend. Some of those he had chosen were getting a little nervous. They were getting after Kevin, and they said, maybe you should start picking some of those good players so maybe we can win. No, Kevin kept picking the losers, quote unquote. He kept picking the ones who never got picked. And you know what? They were feeling pretty good. They were feeling good because they got chosen. And they got chosen first. I don't quite remember the details after that, but I do remember that Kevin's team lost. No, they didn't win. You would think that on TV they could let them win. No, they lost. But yet, they won. They didn't even come close to winning, as I recall, but they enjoyed the game. They enjoyed it more than the other team seemed to enjoy it. Because they weren't playing to win. They were playing to have fun. They were playing out of a sense of belonging and worth. That game was the most exciting game that they had ever played. But isn't that what sports is all about, really? Isn't it really about having fun? Isn't it really about teams playing together and having a good time? Maybe not. You know, if Jesus wanted to win in the religious game, if Jesus wanted to win, he should have chosen better people. He should have chosen the Pharisees. They were the ringers. They were the winners. They were extremely pious people. They were the ones who prayed at least 3 times a day. They knew the Bible forward and backward. They worked hard to obey every one of God's laws. They fasted once or even twice a week to show their religious devotion to God. And in fact, Pharisees gave at least 10% off the top to God. But who did Jesus choose for his team? He chose fishermen, known to be crude and foul-mouthed and impatient and hot-headed. He chose a tax collector, known to be a swindler. He chose a zealot, a fanatical revolutionary. Jesus chooses us. He chooses known sinners, known to be somewhat less than perfect, known to have all kinds of problems in our lives. But there is a difference between Jesus' team and Kevin's team. Kevin's team, who at first wanted to win. Jesus' victory is already won. It is already assured. So it is no longer about winning and losing. It's about enjoying the game. It's about having fun. It's about a life filled with joy and abundance. This choosing typically takes place as Jesus acts through people. Jesus acts through parents, through mothers and fathers, through friends, and even through complete strangers. He acts, he chooses us to draw us to himself. And that could mean to draw us to the community of faith, to draw us to church, to draw us to the font, to make us welcome, and to include us in the ministries of abundant life. Jesus chooses us. All of us. We respond to our selection. Most faithfully, not through feelings of superiority. Disqualifies me. But through gratitude, through the blessings we have received. As we honor our mothers and our graduates this morning, we call to mind those very people through whom Jesus chooses us and works his love through us. As we leave this place and we walk into a new place, a new school, a new class, as our family changes, we walk into a new set of relationships, we are going to be faced with something. We are going to be faced with choice. We are going to be choosing friends. We are going to be choosing classes. We are going to be choosing teachers. We are going to be choosing activities. And those aren't going to be easy choices. But we can rest assured that in so doing, we can be reminded again and again that we are already chosen by God. We are already chosen to be a part of something which, no matter where we are and who we're with, will never change. Since Jesus not only chooses us, he also commissions us. You did not choose me, I chose you, and I appointed you to bear fruit that will last. So Jesus also, in choosing us, commissions us to bear fruit. What that means is he challenges us to do for others what family, what friends, and yes, even what strangers have done for us. It all begins with an invitation, an act of love that Jesus chooses us to issue to others. What would it be be like for us to simply enjoy life where we are in all its fullness without having the pressures of winning and losing. Jesus chose you today, just as he chose you at the font, just as he will choose you tomorrow to abide, live, and remain in his love and in the victory of the cross. The good news is God chose you.